Eddie Bremu the mama ya sasi kudo atise. Oh my no, oh my no, yes and I hose. Oh my for private, oh my no, yes and I hose.
Okay, yeah,
Hello, welcome
we go.
back to Village Kitchen once more. I hope you are enjoying my videos. If you are, don't forget to give me the thumbs up, like, share, recommend, turn on your notification buttons because there's more of this coming your way. So today, what are we making? We are making okra stew. I already have an okra stew 1 minute video on my channel, but today is another okra stew, really, but just because it's got different ingredients. The meat, I'm using crabs, I'm using baby squid, so, and I'm using smoked turkey, so you know it changes it up a bit, but it's still nice and tasty. So I'm bringing this to you so that you know that depending on whatever you feel for or the kind of meat or protein that you have, you can make okra stew to suit your taste. So to introduce my ingredients, I've got some chopped or diced onions, some pepper. I'm going to put these in the stew for extra flavor. I've got my extra pepper, which is my pepper blend, and some ginger blend here with some garlic blend. Please check my stress-free cooking hacks and you'll see how I made this. And instead of Kobe, I'm using anchovies, okay? So that's another tip. If you don't have Kobe, anchovies work really well. And I've got my vine tomatoes, which I have diced here, including the seeds. No need to take out the seeds. And for seasoning, I've got my 10-spice blend. It's the only seasoning I use for almost everything. It works really, really well. And for, of course, we can't have okra stew without okra. So I've got my okra that I have diced here. I'll show you how I do it very soon. And for my protein, I've got some baby squid. I've got some baby crabs as well. And I'm using goat meat and smoked turkey. Right, so I've already seasoned this and boiled it. So I season it with a bit of ginger, garlic, and onion blend, and my 10-spice blend, and a bit of salt. And that was it, really. So I boiled it till it's nice and tender for my liking. So, and you need a bit of salt for taste as well. And of course, palm oil. I'm using palm oil. So by all means, well, okra stew is not okra stew without palm oil. So if you don't want to use palm oil, you can use your choice of oil. But yes, if you're looking for that authentic flavors, please by all means use palm oil. All right, so let's get cooking. Okra stew by heating up the oil, the palm oil, and I'm going to lightly fry my goat meat and my smoked turkey. All right, so gently drop them in. I'm keeping the stock from the meat because that will go in later. So as it's all in, I just want to lightly fry it, okay? You can choose how much you want to fry it for, but I just want a bit of brownness on it. Not even that much brownness, just a little bit of frying, and I'll move on to the next stage. So this has been frying for like 3 minutes, And I'm now adding in my crabs, but not the baby squid, just the crabs. The squid will go in a little bit later. And then add in the pepper and ginger and garlic. And that seasoning will season your crabs as well. I just seasoned the crabs with a bit of my 10 spice blend, but the onion and the ginger and garlic will just, you know, beef up the seasoning on the crabs. So next to go in will be the onions, all of it. And I'm going to let this saute until the onions start to soften up. So onions has been frying for about like a minute. It's starting to look translucent. So now it's the time to add in my anchovies. If you're adding in Kobe, do that at this point or even at the beginning when you start to fry your meat. So the anchovies go in, and I'm going to add in my squid, my baby squid. It's all smelling so good now, and you know, I just feel like eating right now, but it's not done. It's not done at all. So squid has gone in, and I'm just going to add my 10 spice blend in now. I'll add about 2 teaspoons, and that will be all I need for the whole dish. It's enough to season it up. No more other using of other seasoning. This smells wonderful. It smells so good. Wow, this is smelling amazing. I've just had a taste, and it tastes so good. So this is like, it's fried for about a minute or 2. That's how it looks at the base. Look at that. And it's time to add in the tomatoes, the diced tomatoes. Please, with your tomatoes, do use tomatoes on the vine. It makes a whole lot of difference than using canned chopped tomatoes. And I just wanted to give you this tip. If you like okra stew that is really slimy, don't use any tomatoes or use the smallest amount of tomatoes. If you don't like a slimy okra stew, by all means add loads of tomatoes. That's a trick here. For me, I just want a bit of slime, not too much. So I've got about an equal amount of tomatoes to okra in this recipe. So this needs to cook down for the tomatoes to cook really, really well, to stew down really well. So guys, just to show you how I got to this stage, when you buy your okra, make sure it's really nice and fresh. If you're able to break it, it's nice, and you know, it takes a bit, it's a bit spongy. It takes a bit of time before it actually breaks. Then you know it's kind of fresh enough for you. So to chop it up, take off the heads like that. So you take off the heads and you take off the tail. That doesn't go in your okra stew. It's not needed in the okra stew. And slice it this way. Hold it at the bottom. Slice it this way. Depending on how big it is, you may have about 3 or 4 slices in there. It's always good to slice it from the bigger end. Someone would ask, you know, you can use your food processor to do this, and yes, by all means go ahead, use your food processor to get it done. It will chop it up for you. For me, it's just a personal preference. I don't like how it chops it up when I'm using it for my okra stew. If I'm making okra soup, I just go ahead and blend it in my blender, and it's nice and smooth, like how I want it for my okra soup, but not for the stew. I like to chop it up. You can also grate it, but I don't like that kind of smooth kind of texture that you get from when you grate it for my stew. So it's up to you how you like to do it. You can chop it up in big chunks or tiny chunks, but this is how you get it done. So you grab a couple of them together, and just enough so that you can hold it, and basically just slice your knife through. Watch your hands though. Okay, slice your knife through. Slowly slice your knife through it. Okay, if you've got big chunks, don't worry. So what you do at the end of it is you put it close together, and you just use your knife, hold it at one end, create like a wedge, and just chop it up through, right? That's how you do it. So by all means, feel free to use your food processor to do it, but this is how I like it. Okay, I don't eat okra stew that often, so if I do eat it, I want to make it the way I like it, really. So by all means, feel free to do it the way you like it. Alright, so now it's time to check the stew, which is going really well. The tomatoes is cooking nicely, and it's coming along really well. The stew is going really well. The tomatoes has cooked. The tomatoes have cooked nicely. You see, it should look like that, right? And then you know it has cooked. Have a taste. Good. Have a taste and make sure the seasoning is good. If the seasoning is not good, top it up, right? Before you add in your okra. So my seasoning is good. It doesn't need any more. It's well seasoned. I haven't even added salt yet, but there's so much salt in it. It tastes good already. So no need for that. But if yours doesn't have enough salt, by all means make sure you've seasoned it really well. So next thing to go in is the okra. So you add in the okra and mix it well, mix it in really well. And then I'm going to add in my stock. Remember the stock I reserved from my meat? You add that in. So I'm adding that in to help cook the okra. So now I've given you a tip. I gave you a tip of if you want a slimy okra, use very little tomatoes or no tomatoes. If you if you also want a slimy okra, at this stage don't cover it. Once you cover it, you cut off that sliminess. But I'm not looking for that, so by all means I'm going to cover it with my pot cover, half cover it, because I want the okra to cook really well. It's not nice when you have the okra stew and the okra is not cooked down really well. So you really want it to to cook nice and soft. So cover it and let the okra cook down and have a taste to check the seasoning and correct the seasoning with salt. So it's been bubbling away for about a minute, and I'm just adding in my peppers for extra heat, and it wouldn't be too much heat, but it will just, you know, it makes it nice and lovely. This is optional, you don't really need to do it, but it's just optional. But it really adds a touch to it, so yes, give it a try, okay? These are signs that your okra stew is almost ready. The water bubbles reduces here. You've got the oil layer forming, so you know your okra stew is almost ready. It is ready really, and your okra has cooked down. So have a taste to check your seasoning. The flavor is there. It just needs to be corrected a little bit with just a touch of salt. So add just a pinch of salt and let it, you know, once you add salt, let it cook for about a minute and you are done. Your okra stew is done. So see, I've got some sliminess in there, but it's not that drawing slimy. I don't like my okra like that. So if you're just like me, this is how you do it. You cover it a bit and you use quite a bit of tomatoes, and that sorts that problem for you. Oh my goodness, you need to try this. It tastes so good. I just can't wait to get my banku ready. Yes, and sit down and enjoy this food. I think I really deserve it today. So yes, I hope you really enjoy this video, and as always, do like, share, recommend my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, turn on your button to subscribe, turn on the notification button, because there are loads of this kind coming your way, all right? So you don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching my video, and see you very soon. Bye bye.